Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over the Boulder Cup that we just did today for the Mirrored Cup. And I gotta say, before going into this, I really hadn't practiced a lot of Boulder, and I hadn't done it the first time around when it was out. So I got some advice from a friend on what to run for my teams of three and the team of six. And I basically ran my team of three through Sims for about an hour and a half, hour and a half. And I liked what I saw, so I pretty much went with that for every match, trying to start Swampert and swap into Skarmory if anything, if I felt like it was a bad matchup, and then have Medicham in the bag. So here's our first game. We're going up against Professor AJ. Actually, the last time we played each other, we had the exact same team comp, so that was in Nightmare Cup, and here we have pretty much the same comp. I actually don't have the first two games. File must have gotten corrupt or something, but this is game 3, and he has the CMP advantage here. So he got to his Hydro Cannon before we did, but we shielded his, and he did not shield ours, so he's really low here. I thought about it for a second, and I decided I wanted to use both my shields just to conserve health on Swampert here. So Swampert's going to be pretty good against Skarmory, and we think he's going to have Skarmory in the back. And since he didn't shield the first one, he's so far behind on the health advantage here. So he brings in Medicham, and I think we're just going to go for a Hydro Pump here, or Hydro Cannon, sorry, and then swap out into Skarmory, see if we can pull a shield, which we do. So swapping into Skarmory there also, since Medicham and Swampert get to their charge moves at the exact same time, since we had an energy advantage, we were going to have that split second to switch in and eat up the power-up punch, which does far less damage to Skarmory than it does to Swampert as far as percentage of health. We get a Sky Attack off here. He's probably going to shield this. Yep, he's trying to conserve his Medicham as long as possible. You know, he wants to get all the power-up punches. I think he's at +2 right now. I wasn't looking. Maybe he's at +3 for his attack score. And we decide we're going to bring in our own Medicham here, because if we bring in Swampert with the energy that he has, Swampert's just going to get beaten down. So we go for the slightly even matchup, whereas he is ahead with his attacks, but he has such a health disadvantage that we're going to be able to pull through this. And we decide to go for the Ice Punch straight away, just because we basically want to just feint this Medicham so that we can get into better matches for ourselves. And then versus the Skarmory here, we're just trying to get off some power-up punches. And we knew the charge move was coming there, and we thought about swapping out. We actually tried, and good thing it didn't work, because I think that would have been a mistake, actually, leaving our Medicham so low in the back. We get to the Hydro Cannon from Swampert, and this is going to do about 45% damage to Skarmory, so we get that off, and we somehow beat him to the next move, and we get off our Muddy Water, which is a 35 energy move, so really cheap. Especially combine that with Mud Shot, which is a fast charging, fast attack. So since that was game 3, we won our first round, and we go into the second round versus Logoff 72. And he starts Quagsire. He's got an interesting team comp of Medicham, Skarmory, Quagsire, Scizor, Kabutops, and Hitmonchan. And I don't know how this match plays out, and I'm fearful of the Stone Edge doing a ton of damage here, so we decide to shield. He also shielded our first Hydro Cannon. Both of them have the same fast charge move, so we're going to be getting to our... fast attacks. So we're going to be getting to our charge moves around the same time, and I think we do have CMP in this match. So he got us with the Acid Spray the first time. We think he's going to come in with the Stone Edge this time, but he hits us with another Acid Spray. And I think he actually hits us with a third Acid Spray. So I thought about it, and for the next game, if he were to bring in Quagsire, we're thinking he probably only has Acid Spray on this, because I don't think he would go for Acid Spray 3 times if he had another move there. So we decided to farm a little bit, knowing that he's got Acid Spray, and then we're just going to hit him with the Murky Water here. He's at almost no HP anyways, so we're just going to finish him off there to have enough for a Hydro Cannon here, and he actually brings in Medicham. And Hydro Cannon is so good. It does so much just neutral damage across the board. It does about 50% there. We're going to lose our Swampert, but, you know, he did a lot there. And I think, you know, he hasn't done a power-up punch yet, so I'm going to bring in my Medicham and just try to get those power-up punches going and try to snowball Medicham into the win here. So he brings in Skarmory, and we're going to farm a little bit and then bring in our Skarmory to eat the charge attack so that our Medicham doesn't get... He'll get pretty much one-shot by Sky Attack since it's double effective, or super effective rather, against Fighting type. And then we know there are no shields, so we're not going to rush anything, and I think we're going to go for the Flash Cannon here just to make sure that we finish off his Skarmory and get into the matchup. And we know we're counting his moves, so we know he can't actually get to another Sky Attack, so we go for 2 extra auto attacks there. Get the Flash Cannon off, we pretty much finish him off, we get one more attack in, and now we're just trying to get to that Sky Attack before we faint. His Medicham does have a power-up punch, I believe, here. Oh no, an Ice Punch. We do survive, but we do not get the charge move off, but we're so close on this power-up punch here, and we just go for this to finish the first game here. Alright, so next game coming in, and I really don't want to change my strategy here. I think that Swampert is a really safe start. The only thing that's really beating him in this meta, just straight up, is Torterra. And since he does not have one of those, I'm going to want to start Swampert just every game, I think. I think that Skarmory is such a safe switch in, especially against his team. I've never versed or played against Scissor before, so I wasn't sure what moves he had, but I knew he got to that move so fast, I was pretty sure he had X Scissor. Which is what he had, and actually did a lot more damage than I thought it would. He gets to another charge attack here. Scissors charging really fast, and it's Night Slash, I think. He comes in with Hypno-Chan here, which is an interesting move because our Sky attacks are going to be doing, or our flying attacks are going to be doing super effective damage against him. So all we want to do is make sure that we get to another Sky attack here, which we will survive the Ice Punch or the power-up punch. So, and we over-tapped there. We really shouldn't have been tapping that much. We could have gotten that Sky attack off with no problem, but it's okay. We're going to bring in Medicham. I don't know why I shield that. I know he's either going to do Ice Punch or power-up punch. Neither is going to be that much damage to us. Probably a mistake there. And then we're just going to be using our power-up punches. We still have a shield in the back, so if we ever think that a move's going to hurt us, we have that shield advantage. And we decide just to use it here. You know, we're going to probably auto-attack him down, and then have the power-up punch for the next thing that comes in, which we don't know what it is yet. And it is Kabutops, which I believe takes super effective damage against from fighting, yeah. So all we need to do is get to one more power punch. Actually, it looks like he's going to get fainted by the auto attacks, the counter damage. So we take round 2 there. We're 2-0 at this point. And we get into our third match here. And he's running that Torterra that we thought, you know, we're going to be pretty afraid of. But I will say, I think Torterra only beats Swampert. So it's really scary to start off with Torterra. So we still decide, you know, we're going to start Swampert. If anything gets too dicey, we'll switch into Skarmory, which I said a few times already in this video. So, you know, that is pretty much my plan for the entirety of this tournament. And he doesn't block the Hydro Cannon there. Maybe a mistake. Does about 50% damage, so maybe 55. So if we get another one off, you know, we know we're good. I believe I hit the Muddy Water right there. We want to try to shield bait, and we did. And then conserve a little energy still for another attack here in the back. He gets a Sky attack here off here. I think I'm going to shield it because I already have a Hydro Cannon. I have so much energy in the back, I don't want to just lose it. And we go for an extra auto there to have a little bit of extra energy going into the next matchup. But he does block, But since we had that extra energy, we are able to get to a third hydro, I think it's a fourth hydro cannon here. Oh no, 3 hydro cannons and 1 murky water or muddy water. So he brings in his Swampert. I have nothing I really want to bring in. I'm gonna take the defeat here, but I'm gonna get a hydro cannon off before I go out, and hopefully I'll take something from him. Yeah, looks like we had charge move priority there. And he's going to use up his energy here, so I'm going to feel pretty safe bringing something into the next match, thinking that he's got low energy. So I'm going to bring in that Medicham. I was hoping to knock him out with the auto attacks. Don't get there. Probably going to take a Hydro Cannon here, which does a lot of damage, 40-45%. But we're going to have a power-up punch coming into his Medicham here. You see I'm missing a lot of the minigame for the fighting moves. I really haven't done a lot of them. That's my own fault. I really need to practice them. So to me they seem sporadic or random, but it's only because I haven't been practicing enough on it. So I'll get better at that. We do take game 1. So game 2 comes, and we definitely think he's going to bring Torterra in this time because that Swampert did a lot of work against him that time. We took out the Skarmory and got a Hydro Cannon off on his own Swampert. So let's see what he starts. He actually changes up, starts Medicham. It's pretty good against our Swampert. Against Medicham, we decided we wanted to get to the Hydro Cannon. If he shields, we'll swap out. And if he doesn't shield, or if he shields, we'll swap out to Skarmory, knowing that we'll have the shield advantage in the matchup, which means we would win. And then if he doesn't shield, we would stay in there, try to get a Muddy Water off for a shield bait, or go for the Hydro Cannon. But I think we would do the Muddy Water just because he's definitely going to shield it. And he brings in Swampert. Swampert, like I said earlier in this video, but in the reverse, when I had my Swampert, Swampert's really good against Skarmory here, just because the fast moves charge up so fast, and then he's just doing neutral damage with that Community Day move of Hydro Cannon. So he takes out our Skarmory. So he's got the Pokemon advantage, but we have 2 shield still to his none. And so we're just going to shield everything he does here on Swampert and hope to power up our power-up punches and get our attacks snowballing here. And with an extra shield still in the background, we're definitely going to be able to get off like 3 power-up punches, I feel. We don't need to shield this. I think it's his first power-up punch. Oh, he actually goes for an Ice Punch. That's interesting. We're still going to just be powering up our attacks with power-up punches. We know we're nowhere near killing him with the Ice Punch here. A little surprised I didn't shield there, but I guess we know that he hasn't done any power-up punches yet, so we know his attacks are going to be pretty low. We swap into our Swampert because we actually don't want to take another hit from the power-up punches. We want our we really want our Medicham to be at high energy and pretty good health coming into the last matchup, which we still don't know what it is. And he actually did bring in that Torterra, and I think we have enough energy for an Ice Beam here with the 3 power-up punches, and so this should be enough to one-shot him even from full health. Yeah. So power-up punch, guys, if you have the shield advantage, you definitely want to just press it with Medicham. Just bring him in as soon as you gain that shield advantage and just keep pushing it. So we're 3-0 at this point. We come into the last round here against Road Warrior 24. He was actually the last opponent we had in our Jungle Cup that we weighed. We actually versed him a lot in the last rounds. He's really good, so he always seems to be making the finals. And we both he has the exact same lineup as the last person, which is one off of ours, where we have Probopass and he has Torterra. We get a shield off him with our Swampert, and then he swaps out to Medicham, and we decide we're gonna take the shield advantage into this matchup and bring in Skarmory to try to take out Medicham, to try to stop any sort of snowballing that he thinks he's going to gain by bringing in an early Medicham. So if Medicham doesn't block the Sky attack, he's definitely going to be hurting, and actually at that health he would have died. So he uses both of his shields on his Medicham to try to get the power-up punches going. So he has I think he has +2 attack, maybe he has +3. I missed how much he was doing there. And we decide we're not going to bring our Swampert in because he's going to get hurt a lot by these power-up punches and the counter damage. So we're going to bring in our Medicham since he takes resisted damage from fighting moves. And we have the shield advantage, so we're going to try to shield a lot of the stuff that he's doing and then just conserve the power-up punches for the next matchup, which I believe he'll bring in Skarmory. Yeah, he'll bring in a Skarmory, which is at full health. So this is our second power-up punch. We're going to get to our third right here. And if he ever goes for a Sky attack, we should probably shield it. And actually, it looks like we swap into our Swampert to eat a Sky attack, but we mistime it and he doesn't throw one out. And we get put into a matchup versus his own Swampert. Both of them are pretty decent health. I think we're going to go down here if we don't shield a Hydro Cannon, so we decide we're going to shield there. We're going to gain a couple more hits of energy, and then we're going to throw out a Muddy Water so that we have a lot of energy going into this next matchup. Now this can be risky at the health that he's at, because yeah, it looks like he had one extra hit that we needed to do. And I didn't know how close we were to the Hydro Cannon, so I ended up throwing out a Murky Water here, or a Muddy Water. But he's going to have to use a charge move to take out our Swampert anyways, which means he won't have enough energy for another charge attack when we come in with Medicham here. So our Medicham's just going to try to get to this power-up punch, and we finish him off with fast attacks anyways. So really close game there. If he gets to a charge attack, we obviously lose that one. We think for a little bit about changing. We think he's going to come in just like the other guy with Torterra, but we think maybe he's going to start it. But, you know, at the end of the day, Swampert got us here. Let's stick it. And he actually starts Skarmory again, probably thinking we would change. So really, really lucky, really good by us to not switch out. We're going to go with our patent strategy of throwing out a Hydro Cannon and seeing if he shields. And since he actually shielded last time, it looks like this time we're going for Muddy Water for the shield bait. Because we think he's going to shield no matter what anyways here. And he does. And we decided since we get the bait off that we can definitely get to a Hydro Cannon also before he gets to his second power-up punch. Since the energy costs are the same and we spent less than he did. And then we're going to swap out into Skarmory to try to eat up all the fighting damage since he resists it. Yeah, and this is pretty standard again. We're really up on shields because we were able to use Swampert's 2 water community day moves to one to bait the shield and the second one to actually just take it straight up, or we would have KO'd him. So without any shields, obviously the Sky attack's going to just decimate Medicham. And he comes in with his own Skarmory here, and we're thinking, you know, we can make it to the Flash Cannon, but then I think for a second, you know, he might make it to a Sky attack, we might die to a Sky attack, and I really don't want to shield on my Skarmory. I want it to go down, and I want it to go down to an energy costing move so that when I come in with Medicham, it's pretty even. And you see there, we didn't die to it, but I needed to bring in Medicham as soon as possible. I don't want his Skarmory just farming off our Skarmory since they don't do very much damage to each other, and our Skarmory would go down before an auto attack, before a charge move, and then he could come in with another charge move, which would really just wreck us. So I bring in Medicham as soon as possible. I shield the first the charge attack that he does, and then he comes in with Swampert, and we have enough for a power-up punch here. So we're just going to use it. We definitely don't want to use Ice Punch since it's going to be resisted from the water typing. And we get a little bit of lag. We decide that it's mutual at the end, so we decide to keep going here. And we bring him really low. We still have 2 Pokemon in the back, but they're both 1 or 2 shot range each. And we bring in the Skarmory and the auto attack clears it up. So yeah, I had never played in a Boulder Cup before, but I'll say if you want to bring a team of 3, I'm thinking you definitely should bring Swampert, Skarmory, and Medicham. Apparently everyone else knew this except me before the day of. And yeah, I really think leading not Skarmory, leading Swampert is really good because you can always bring the Skarmory in. It's going to have neutral matchups against almost everything. So, yeah. So we went 4-0 in this cup. Really great showing for us, especially with how underprepared I felt. And we're going to keep doing more of these Mirror Cups, as many as we can before the end of the month, before Season 2 starts. So if you want to catch any more of these cups that I'm doing, go ahead and subscribe. And if you have any 3 extra Pokemon besides the 3 that I listed that you think should be added to the Boulder Cup, go ahead and let me know, because I sort of just threw in 3 things that I already had because I don't have a ton of dust and I actually ran out of charged TMs. So yeah, thanks for watching the video.